Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Today Apple announced the iPhone 6, the Apple Pay system, and the Apple Watch. Let's take a closer look at each. The iPhone 6 is going to come in two sizes, and both sizes will be larger than the current iPhones, the iPhone 5 and 5S. The two sizes are the iPhone 6 at 4.7 inches diagonally and the iPhone 6 Plus at 5.5 inches diagonally. Now the screen ratio is the same, so apps will basically just scale up to fit the screen size, but a lot of the built-in apps like say Messages will have new modes and new ways of showing things that will take advantage of the larger screen size. In addition, just about everything inside's been upgraded. There's a new processor, the A8 processor, to make it faster. There's a new motion chip in it that will be able to measure things like small changes in altitude. There's better camera in it, both on front and back, that's capable of doing things like having more frames per second in slow motion and also taking better pictures using HDR, using focusing. And the iPhone 6 Plus is actually going to have optical image stabilization, meaning the optical lens actually moves as opposed to doing it all in software. Both models are going to come with three different storage sizes, 16 gig, 64 gig, and 128 gig. The prices will be $200, $300, and $400 for the iPhone 6 with a 2-year contract by a US carrier. Add $100 to those prices if you're getting the iPhone 6 Plus. In the United States and a few other countries you'll be able to pre-order on September 12th and they'll start shipping on September 19th. Incidentally, iOS 8, which will come in all these new iPhones and has been in testing for a long time now, will be released on September 17th, just 2 days before the iPhones come out. So these phones of course will come with iOS 8, but current users of more recent iPhones, the iPhone 5 and 4S, will be able to upgrade to iOS 8 at that time, and probably iPad users as well, although iPad wasn't specifically mentioned today. Apple also announced a system called Apple Pay, and this is something that will be on the iPhone, and you'll be able to store your payment information with Apple. Most of us already have through iTunes, and then you'll be able to wave your iPhone 6, which has near field communication ability, over a device at a checkout counter at major stores, and it's kind of like swiping a credit card, except you're never pulled out a credit card. You don't even have to have it with you. They announced lots of stores that are going to have this, and also lots of payment systems like major credit cards and banks. Apple announced a whole new product today, the Apple Watch. This has been rumored for a long time, but finally we get to see what it really looks like. And it's a small squarish sized device that fits onto your wrist, and it has a touch screen that also detects force as well as just plain touch, and also has a dial on the side as well as a button and a microphone for input, so you could talk to it and ask things. It's connected to Siri, so you can have a variety of information displayed on the screen, and it will communicate with your phone for some of this, but it appears also some of it will be stored on the watch. In addition to those input devices, there are also sensors on the back that will do things like detect your pulse, so you can use it for a lot of health oriented things, for working out and recording information about your workout. Apple showed off a variety of apps running on the Apple Watch. Things like maps that give you directions. One of the cool things I thought was that you can even get feedback from the watch through vibrations. So you can ask for directions and get turn-by-turn directions that tell you whether to go left or right as you're walking by sending vibrations into your wrist, so you don't actually even have to glance at the screen. They also showed messaging a lot, and in addition to being able to send text messages and audio messages, you'll actually be able to send touch messages and drawings and things. We're going to have to see how that actually works once we get the devices. So a big concern when dealing with small devices like this is battery life. Is how long will the battery last before we have to recharge it? It looks like one of the ways Apple is dealing with this is noticing when you raise your wrist up to be able to see it, and it will activate things. So for instance, the clock may not actually be displayed when your wrist is down, but when you raise it up you'll see it. Also when you get notifications, it may just be a small vibration, but when you raise your wrist up then it will actually turn on the display. An important part of today's announcement was that third parties will be able to develop apps for the Apple Watch. This is going to be great as we can see what third parties do with the screen and with all the different sensors and inputs that the Apple Watch has. Now that we know about the Apple Watch, we're still going to have to wait a while before we get one. The release date is just generally sometime early in 2015, and the only price we got today was the price of the base model, $349. So we're going to have to wait to see how much more the expensive models cost. There are even ones that are made with real gold, so those will probably cost a little bit more, and there's different bands that you can get for it as well, so there'll probably be extra costs with those as well. So we're just going to have to wait until after the new year probably to find out anything more about Apple Watch.